So this is the Fanatics podcast. Today we're going to be talking about upcoming Kakarot DLC. We all have a theory about it, what it could and could not be. But yeah, so let's dive right into it.
First of all, Tanner.
Oh, my name's Tanner.
Tyler.
And I'm Chase.
Okay. So, recently there's been a leak that there's a tree in the game. And they actually released a picture of the tree as well. Mm-hmm. Some people were saying it's a tree of might. Some people were saying it's the tree from Beerus's place.
Yep.
And I don't see the tree of might happening because it's not canon, for one. I think it's Beerus. It's gotta be. Has to be. Because, and this is my thing, it's gotta be Beerus and Whis. They're gonna start off with the Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
Because data miners have actually found Beerus and Whis in the game.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, so...
Trying to go blind for a little bit, but I'm glad we're going to be talking about it now, so this is
okay.
good. Yeah.
So data miners found Beerus and Whis in the game. So, and that works off because the game is called Dragonball Z Kakarot.
Right.
Battle of Gods is Dragonball Z.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it one step further, though, because I think there's going to be 2 DLC. First one will be Battle of Gods. Second one will be Resurrection of F.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really...
My stomach there. My stomach was like, I agree.
Featuring Chase's
I really
stomach.
hope the video caught that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So I definitely think the same thing. I went ahead and pulled up the picture again, just so I can see it. And it's...
Okay.
You can see like another planet off on this side, and this definitely screams out Beerus's planet.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I agree.
And I do admit there's no reason for them to go back and do non-canonical movies that do not fit into the story.
Right.
If they did this, it would definitely pick up after Kakarot, fit in with the story, and like he said, it is Z. I definitely do think they're gonna stop with Golden Freeze, and they're not gonna go past any past that.
Yeah.
Because that's the last Z. When it was originally called Z. So that's why I think it's definitely going to be a continuation onto what they're calling the Gods arc.
Battle of Gods, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait for Chase's idea.
So, I have my idea, and then I kind of more have like an idea that
It's the Tree of Might.
just draws back to people who played Xenoverse 1 and 2. I mean, obviously, you have the showing of Mira and Toa, who are from Xenoverse.
Oh, yeah.
And then you also have a pull from Fighter Z, which is Android 21.
Right.
So, I think what maybe Xenoverses would like to see would be the going back in time, which that's already been confirmed as far as like you're getting to use the time machine to go back in sub-stories that you hadn't completed beforehand.
About that. Yeah.
But being able to essentially do some Xenoverse type missions where it's like what if stories. I would like to maybe see that. Since I mean it was broken wide open the fact when they just showed that you could fight Mira and Toa.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and they're going back to their universe, which is probably Xenoverse 1 or 2. And it's maybe gonna come in a weird full circle, and then but for mine, I do believe that the tree is from Battle of Gods.
Right.
I have no doubt about that. As cool as it would be to see other movie villains in it, I don't see that happening. But at the same time, they threw in a Raleigh out of nowhere too. So anybody's game is what I think it is. Like is what's going to happen for it. I do believe, they will go probably right up to Resurrection F. Mm-hmm. I think both of these are going to be paid DLCs.
Absolutely.
Sure. And I don't expect them to be any less than $20, like realistically.
Yeah.
And as long as you have the right amount of content in there and more stuff to do even after you beat those said parts in the DLC, that's what's going to really bring it together. And then the next or final one would be Tournament of Power as the last DLC.
You think they'll do that though? That's super.
I don't think they're gonna go past Golden Frieza because
I don't think so either.
Nothing's been, because that would be going into, it wouldn't be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it'd be Dragon Ball
Super.
Just Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Right,
But it's covering
it's
Z and Super.
but but at the same time, with Mira and Toa being from Xenoverse, the game's not called Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and with Android 21 coming from Fighters, it's not called Dragon Ball.
From what I remember, though, is there was a hard push on making Xenoverse canon because so far in the future, they're wanting to canonically make that canon, and ever since Akira Toriyama has put his hands in the pot again, there's a lot of stuff that's going under the radar as canon. Because Dragon Ball Legends is canon now.
Well, but also, my thing is even the
nice.
Resurrection F, the movie was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It was also retold in Super.
Yeah,
true. It was retold in Super.
You had more continuity, and the same goes for Battle of Gods. So my thing is like, I think maybe Tournament of Power is jumping too far ahead, but I don't rule it out just because the game's called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
That's just a lot more story, though, to tell.
Wow, why wouldn't they?
They've already been telling as much story. I mean, I've already clocked in about 70 hours.
Yeah, but when it's
Tournament
too
of Power,
much, though.
Tournament of Power, that whole thing really revolves around Goku. That whole thing. I mean, the game is about Goku.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, if they're gonna tell the story about Goku, they could go up to Tournament of Power. I like that idea.
I don't think they will, though, because that's straight up Super, and I definitely think
he's got a point,
they would. Yeah, but I definitely think they would milk the heck out of it. I would expect them to make like after they release Resurrection of F and all that stuff, they will go straight to a Dragon Ball Super game.
You think they'll do a whole new game?
Whole new game, Dragon Ball Super, because they have so much content in Dragon Ball Super, and by that time, who knows what's considered canon? They could be all the way up to Moro arc in Super,
like the anime or like the manga's doing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, everything's been canon in Dragon Ball Z term is so much more broader than it was back in the day. I remember it was such a simpler time. Is GT canon? No, GT's not canon. Yeah, GT's canon. Now it's, well, Toa Mira is partly canon, but it's kind of not. But so far in the future, it could be canon. He hasn't said anything, but they did say Legends is canon, and that's going crazy. And you have the Shadow People in Legends, like you have in
Xenoverse.
Yeah. So I mean, and we don't know who the bad guys are there, who the masterminds. It could very well be.
Well, we know
Toa Mira. So
you got reversed. I like that.
Like, yeah, I mean, canon right now is going in such a weird, loose direction. We don't really know what's canon because he could be straight up doing the George Lucas thing and being, this is canon, this is canon, this is canon, this is canon.
You also have to remember, Akira Toriyama isn't doing this game. He's stepped back,
supervising it.
He's supervising it. He's looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, awesome." But he's not writing this. He's not like, no. He's letting I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Fact check right there. Come on.
Name insert here.
Yeah. But it's not. Yeah, it's not Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't exactly say that he hasn't. He's not.
But he, basically, the way I understand it is basically that guy goes up and says, "Hey, Akira, what is your outline?" And Akira's like, "Okay, this is what the outline needs to be. He needs a new bad guy that can use magic powers." And, he gives him plot points, like small plot points, and then basically fill in the gap there. Like those dotted line puzzles, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's your choice to go, how you want to draw the lines to that point. That's the way I expect that. That's just the manga, though. Which, I mean, they're saying the manga's canon.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're talking game, though. We're not even...
Game-wise, I think it's the same thing. It's going to be, I think the reason why Ariali there is just so it's like, hey, this is an also nice tie-in to something else.
But she was also in Dragon Ball.
She was in Dragon Ball. She was also in Dragon Ball Super as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, all of the animated series of Super is technically canon. And I'm pretty sure she was also in the comic book too, so she's canon in that world.
Yeah, I know she's canon.
So
Yeah.
I mean, so she's in there. And Fighter Z, from what I know, is considered. I'm not sure if it's canon or not either.
I don't know.
See, that's the thing.
Is Fighters canon?
I know.
You're more of a Fighters guy than we are.
Fighters, I don't think the whole story itself is canon, but Android 21 was created by Akira Toriyama. He confirmed that she was canon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's an original design by him.
Yeah.
And I think we're missing the point that this game is going to draw from other games that have come out.
Yeah.
And paying homage to, because for all we know, you guys, it could be a GT thing that we're going to be getting next. And they wouldn't
like the main game is canon, but then this part is
but
not.
then they're gonna play GT. But my thing is what I'd like to see with like time travel, going back in time and all that, to do sub stories. But I'd also even like to do just like a Trunks story where you do the future of Trunks and you play as one-armed Gohan, or you play alongside him.
I would love that. Whenever they first said that they were gonna do the whole traveling back in time, I definitely thought, okay, we get to have the epilogue, Trunks' epilogue, going back and decimating the androids and Cell.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would freaking love that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that kind of goes along with the whole time travel thing. If let's say you're right that they end up going to the Tournament of Power, I mean, they'd have to go through the Zamasu saga.
But you're already able to play as
But
Trunks.
that's already a lot of story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the game itself was already a lot of story, so they'll add more to it if they're smart.
And the game already cut a whole bunch of stuff out.
True, but
so they could.
There's so much of Super to tell all of Super as DLC. I don't think they would do that.
No,
and
it wouldn't be one.
It
would be because
how many arcs are in? DLC.
How many arcs are in? There's 3 arcs in Super, right?
No,
there's the retelling of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F.
I'm not counting those.
Okay, so the whole Gods and F, we'll count that as one because it was all within like 30 episodes. Then you had the Tournament of Power.
Zamasu was the big
Tournament of Power.
No, it's not Tournament of Power.
I thought Tournament of Power is the last one in Super.
No, it's Champa.
Yeah, that's Tournament of Power.
No, it's not Tournament of Power.
Then that's Universal Tournament. Universal
Tournament.
Tournament. Then you had
Zamasu, and then Tournament
of Power.
Yeah. Right.
So you have 4 main arcs. That's a lot of story to tell.
DLCs?
They could easily make that its own game.
But they probably they'd make more money.
Look at
Naruto.
Make
more money doing the DLCs.
Yeah, but no, because look at Naruto. Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. It was seriously spoiler warning. It was seriously the last battle. There's nothing before that, nothing after that. It was seriously just the last battle.
Right.
They could easily do that just for the ultimate.
For like how Obito was revived and how his best friend was it Rin died and all that, and then it's covering everything. But it was 3 and 4 that covered like the majority of it. But the whole series itself. But those are fighting games that are told through that way.
But you also have. I definitely think they could do the same thing they did with Ultimate Ninja Storm. Like look how much stuff there is in that versus how much stuff there is in the Tournament of Power. Like there's so much to do in the Tournament of Power. You could in general if they wanted to, which I doubt they would.
You're not going to play as every character.
Well, you could totally do a fucking battle royale.
Yeah,
but they're not going to.
You'll play as Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan.
Yeah,
and Piccolo.
And I bet you could play as every single character.
But you guys
they won't.
Why?
Because already in the game, Krillin and Tien and Roshi's not. They're just support characters. You can't play as them.
But here's the other thing.
This could be a whole new game, though.
But no, here's the other thing, you guys. Like, you guys are not factoring in that they're not going to add new people that you can play as.
Right.
So just in the DLC thing, they talked about how that Beerus could be a possible player. And that's fine. I don't know where you'd use it for, but whatever. I'm cool with it. Or even just being a support character. But I think especially for Tournament of Power above all, that's going to be the one where you can play as different characters.
But I really doubt they're gonna. Even though you have support characters, that's a complete 180 to only have them playable in the last section than having playable in the first section. Because, like, okay, now you can play as Krillin. Are you going to be able to play as Krillin throughout the whole story? Because he has some pretty good...
I know we're jumping to it. I know I'm jumping to a completely different game, but look, I mean, dude, look at Remind. We didn't get to play as a lot of the other ones until Remind came out.
True.
So they can do it with any other game. They're not the same company or anything.
No, absolutely.
Like, I think you're trying to downgrade it too much, Ty. Like you don't want to get your hopes too high, and I trust you. I believe you on that. But I think they will add more characters, and I think Tournament of Power is going to be. It's going to lead up to that.
I hope. I don't think
it would be cool.
Interject an outside opinion on this as a mass consumer standpoint. I honestly believe that the Tournament of Power and all that will not happen in Kakarot. I honestly believe it will be a second game, kind of like what Ty is talking about, strictly because the amount of content that is currently in Super and how far it can go. Honestly, I do think the DLC will take more of a Xenoverse turn. Maybe do Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F because that is Z.
Yeah.
But I don't think the game is going to progress any further than that. I think when they come out with the second one for Super, they will then make every character ever made playable, just like Smash Bros. Ultimate did.
I guess what it boils down to is if they do release anything that came from Super on Kakarot, it automatically null and void everything. As far as like not Resurrection F and not Battle of God,
anything past Resurrection
F, but the Universal
I will
succeed
on that one.
Then that'll be our
Super.
That will be our confirmation.
Super.
Yeah.
But I definitely...
I would hope that they don't do Tournament Power alone as just a video game because they don't need to stretch out one.
Well, no, but they can do all of Super as just a video game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would love
because
that too.
I would... Because think about this. You have 4 or 5 main story arcs in Dragon Ball Z you play through. You have 4 or 5 main story arcs in Dragon Ball Super that you can play through. It could be the same amount of video games.
Yeah.
And taking a business standpoint for being Bandai Namco, even though they do love to do extra, I really think that they would totally... I mean, look how many times they had to rehash Dragon Ball Budokai just to add 20 extra characters each, and they charge you a full price game.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see them saying, okay, this is called Dragon Ball Z. If they was called Dragon Ball Z and it had Dragon Ball in it, I'd totally be, they could totally do Super, but they don't. It starts off with Raditz, it ends with Boo.
Yeah.
So I could totally them saying, okay, Dragon Ball Z, we'll do the movie Zs, the canon movie Zs, then we're gonna do a whole new game and do the next 5 arcs of Super. Because even if you do all of Super, if you do anything from Super, like if you go all the way to the Tournament of Power, that's bullcrap.
Why?
You should lead up to it. Don't skip, because there's so much to happen in between. It's like saying, okay, guys, I just beat Raditz. Let's go do the Boo fight.
No, no. They would, if they were to lead up to Super, they would start off.
They would do everything in between.
Yeah, which would be Battle of Gods and Resurrection. And
exactly.
Those are already happening. We know.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though, is the fact that there is so much stuff in Super. You have the Universal Tournament. You have Zamasu, which is huge. Brings back Trunks and everything. And then you have Tournament of Power, which is also gigantic.
Thing is, I can see them doing both. I can either see them stopping at Resurrection F with the DLC and then making a new game for Dragon Ball Super, Kakarot, whatever. Or I can see them just adding every DLC for every arc. I can see them doing either one.
I could see them doing either one either. It just depends if they want to be lenient to their fan base or milk it. Well, and from what we've done before, or for what they've done before, they've milked it.
They've done that with all the Dragon Ball games. They've done it with Xenoverse, and they've also done it with Fighters.
Yeah,
they'll always do that.
Thing.
They're always going to
make. I think they would add DLCs just because.
Yeah, they'll add DLCs.
But no, I mean DLC for every arc. That is why I'm thinking that, because they would want to milk. Look at Witcher. Okay, another completely different game. I understand. Yeah. But look at The Witcher. They added DLC. And you were talking about that's so much content. Okay, look at The Witcher, though. Yeah. Those DLCs were huge and long, easily 50 hours a piece.
Yeah, but they're also not Bandai Namco.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But they could. No,
Bandai
I don't
Namco
think
just seems. I wouldn't say they're stingy, but they could, if they have a chance to do a whole other game with Super, they're gonna do it.
Right, but they
I
came
forget
out with
what
Road
they
to
do.
Boruto DLC pretty dang quick with Ultimate Ninja 4 and Ninja
Yeah,
Storm 4.
but they really couldn't do much with Road to Boruto because that's all there was.
Because it was
Final
just a
thoughts?
movie.
Yeah, there's just the movies. So
Final thoughts?
Yeah.
yeah.
I just hope to see that you can, or what I'd like to see with maybe some just like clear updates for the game would be that you could instant transmission to places instead of having more loading screen. I understand every level that you go to or every part of the level is quite a massive. It's quite big, for what it is. But seeing that loading screen is all too often.
Instant transmission as Goku.
And I agree with you on some sub-story missions where it has you just going back and forth all the time.
That's super annoying.
Yeah, and I, they this is an RPG game, and I get that, but you don't have to make all jobs tedious in an RPG. Like, you don't have to. But
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to see that. I really hope to see that we do have Super in it, but if not, then I'm totally fine with Battle of the Gods and
Yeah.
Resurrection F. Absolutely.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I want at least to Resurrection F.
Yeah.
At least.
Yes, because that's technically Z.
That is Z.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
So yeah, I'm voting. It's gonna go up. We're gonna get 2 DLCs: Battle of Gods, Resurrection F. That's it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes, guys.
All right. Thanks.
All right, peace out. Have a good night.
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Ah!